Nobody noticed the moment when I started fading away. There was no goodbye, no final words, no reason for me to stay. I just became a little quieter, I smiled a little less. I carried all the feelings I never could confess. I was still in the pictures, I was still by your side, but the girl who lived inside me was slowly saying goodbye. I gave you all my mornings, I gave you all my nights. I forgot my own reflection, trying to keep yours bright. Some people disappear without ever leaving. I was the girl who disappeared quietly, lost between loving you and forgetting me. Nobody saw the pieces, nobody heard the fall. I was breaking in silence while pretending I was whole. But somewhere in the darkness, a small light stayed alive. The girl I thought was missing was waiting deep inside. The piano cries softly, like rain against the window. The acoustic guitar whispers through the places we let go. I still remember laughter, I still remember us. I still remember believing love was enough. But I learned a heart can love and still become lost. I learned a beautiful story can still have a cost. Now I walk through empty rooms, not looking for your face. I'm searching for the woman who once knew her own place. I was the girl who disappeared quietly, but now I hear her heartbeat calling back to me. She is not the old version, she is not yesterday. She is the woman rising after all the pain. I whisper to my reflection, I know you waited long, I know you felt forgotten, I know you felt gone. But you were never nothing, you were never too small. You were the hidden strength that carried me through it all. Still growing. I lost someone I loved, I lost what we knew, but I found the quiet girl who was always true. I disappeared quietly, but my heart never stopped looking for me. Mm. Mm. I spent so many years listening for your heartbeat. I learned the rhythm of your sadness. I learned the way you needed me. I knew when you were hurting. I knew when you were afraid. I knew how to hold you together when your world began to break. But somewhere in the silence, somewhere along the way, I stopped hearing my own heart. I stopped knowing what to say. I thought love meant forgetting every part of who I was. I thought giving you my everything was the meaning of enough. I was so busy saving you, I forgot I needed saving too. That heartbeat I forgot was mine. The voice I buried was still alive. Under all the sadness, under all the pain, there was a little piece of me calling my name. I thought I was empty, I thought I was gone, but my heart kept beating even when I moved on. Now I'm learning slowly through the tears I hide, the heartbeat I was searching for was beating inside. The piano cries softly like a lonely winter rain through the echoes of my pain. Your pictures are still fading, your words are losing sound, but the girl I left behind is finally being found. I can miss the way you held me, I can miss what we had, I can honor all the beautiful and all the painful parts, but I won't keep abandoning the person that I am. I won't trade my whole soul just to hold someone's hand. That heartbeat I forgot is mine. It survived every storm, it survived every night. It was there when I was broken, it was there when I cried. It was the only thing that never left my side. I put my hand on my chest, I close my eyes and listen. A quiet little reminder I was never really missing. I was buried under memories, I was hidden under fear, but the woman I became was always waiting here. That heartbeat I forgot, I know now it belongs to me, and I promise myself I will never let it leave. I lost someone I love, love that carried me through. That carried me through. I searched for your heartbeat until I remembered mine was still beating. The house used to whisper every time you walked inside. Every wall held a memory, every corner held a night. Your boots by the doorway, your jacket on the chair, the little things I collected because I thought you cared. But seasons kept changing and dust covered your name. Funny how a place remembers long after people change. I kept all your pictures like proof we were real, like holding on to yesterday could change how I feel. But even broken houses learn how to breathe again. This is the house that learned to forget you. The walls stopped calling, the room stopped missing you. The windows open, the cold air came through, and somewhere in the silence I stopped waiting for you. You were the storm that lived in my veins, the fire I protected that burned me with flames. Now the ashes are falling, the sky is turning blue, and this house that lost you is finally finding truth. I found an old letter behind the bedroom door, words full of forever that don't hurt anymore. I used to read them crying, wondering where we went wrong. Now I read them quietly and realized I was strong. I carried your darkness like it belonged to me. I held all your broken pieces while mine fell underneath. I called it being faithful, I called it being kind. But love should never require you to disappear inside. This is the house that learned to forget you. Not because I hate you, not because I regret you. Oh, you were a chapter, you were part of my life, but you were not the ending, you were not my goodbye. Tonight I light a candle in the room where we fell apart. Not for the love we lost, but for my healing heart. I forgive who I became when I was trying to stay. I forgive every tear I cried along the way. This is the house that learned to forget you. The porch light is glowing, but it's no longer for you. Oh, the road this house was empty after you left, but I was wrong. It was finally full of me, full of me. I found the last photograph hidden in a drawer. Two people smiling before we weren't anymore. Your hand was holding mine, your eyes were full of light. Funny how a picture can hide 1,000 fights. Nobody saw the moments when I was falling apart. Nobody saw the silence growing inside my heart. We look like forever, we look like something true, but pictures don't remember what love can put you through. I kept the photograph because I missed who we were, not because I missed who we became. This is the last photograph of us, the final piece of yesterday, the proof that something beautiful can still fade away. I won't tear it into pieces, I won't pretend it wasn't real. Some memories are painful, but there's still things you feel. You were my favorite chapter, my hardest goodbye, the person I was saving while I was losing my life. The house is getting quieter since your shadow left the room. The flowers stopped pretending they were waiting here for you. I stopped making excuses for the things you couldn't give. I stopped calling loneliness the price of learning how to live. I used to chase your footsteps across an empty floor, begging for a love that didn't live there anymore. I was afraid of losing you, so I lost myself instead. I gave you all my daylight and kept living in the dark. This is the last photograph of us, and I can finally see the girl inside that picture was someone I need to meet. She was laughing before the heartbreak, she was dreaming before the rain. She was more than just a memory, more than all the pain. Maybe some people in her just to teach your heart that holding on forever can tear you apart. Maybe goodbye isn't empty, maybe goodbye is the door. Maybe the love you were chasing was waiting inside you all along. This is the last photograph of us, and I'm putting it away, not because I hate you, not because I can't remember your name, but because my future deserves more than my past. And the woman in that picture deserves a chance. when I let go. But I was finally finding the person I lost trying to love you. There was a name I used to whisper before your voice filled every room. A little girl with open windows, a heart that believed. The world was kind. She had a favorite song, a favorite season, 1,000 dreams she kept inside. And slowly she learned your weather and forgot her own sunlight. I didn't lose myself in one goodbye. I lost myself in every time I stayed silent. I wanna remember the name I whispered before yours, before I became a shadow by the door, before my happiness needed permission, before my tears needed a reason. I wanna find the girl beneath the scars, the one who knew she was already enough before she gave away her heart. The piano falls gently like snow on an empty road. The pedal steel cries softly for all the weight I carried alone. The acoustic strings remember the sound of my old dreams before I became a prisoner of someone else's needs. The mirror doesn't lie now, it shows the tired truth. A woman who survived what she thought would destroy her. Depression still whispers from the corner of the night, but I have learned even shadows need a little light. Maybe healing is not becoming someone new. Maybe healing is returning to who you are. I wanna remember the name I whispered before yours, the dreams I abandoned, the heart I ignored. I don't want revenge, I don't want you back. I only want the pieces of myself that I left behind. If I could hold the woman I became, I'd tell her you were never empty, you were carrying too much. You were never impossible, you were just exhausted from trying to be loved. Tonight, I whisper my name again, quietly, secret. I almost forgot the room doesn't answer, the walls don't change, but something inside me moves. Something inside me stays. The felt piano. The felt piano fades. The felt piano fades. There was a time before you when my heart belonged to me. I walked beneath the sunlight and I liked who I could be. I had dreams beside my pillow, I had songs inside my soul. I had a little world that I could call my own. Then I found your heartbeat and I wanted to stay. I started changing pieces so you wouldn't walk away. I learned to need your laughter, I learned to need your touch. I forgot the girl who knew she was already enough. I loved you so deeply, I forgot I was someone too. Take me back to the person I was before I needed you, before my happiness depended on everything you do. Before I lost my colors, before I lost my way, before I gave tomorrow just to save yesterday. I don't want to erase you, I don't want to pretend. I just wanna find the girl I was before the end. The piano cries softly like rain on an empty street. The acoustic guitar whispers to my tired heartbeat. Your memories still linger like smoke inside the room, but I feel something growing where the sadness used to bloom. I can miss your presence, I can miss your smile without believing anymore I was only worth your while. I am more than somebody who somebody chose to leave. I am more than a broken heart trying hard to breathe. Take me back, not to the life we had before. Take me back to the woman behind the door, the one who had a future, the one who had a voice, the one who remembered she was always her own choice. Hello, old version of me. I know I made you wait. I know I left you standing at the edge of yesterday. but I am coming for you. I'm finally awake. I will never lose myself for someone else's sake. I am the person I was before I needed you. A little more broken, a little more true. I lost a love story, I lost a dream somehow, but I found the woman standing here now. Standing here now. I thought I needed you, but I was only trying to find myself again. I took the road past midnight with nowhere left to go, chasing down the memories of a love I couldn't hold. The signs kept disappearing, the city lights went black, but every mile I traveled still brought your shadow back. I had your old voice playing through the speakers of my car, a song about forever from someone who left my heart. I thought if I kept driving, I could outrun the pain, but some ghosts don't live behind you, they live inside your name. I wasn't trying to find you, I was trying to find the person I was before. This is the road where I lost myself, where I gave away my heart, trying to save someone else. I followed your darkness, I carried your rain, I turned all my wounds into reasons to stay. But the highway keeps moving and the night fades away. Maybe losing your love was the price I had to pay to find the girl inside me who was buried underneath. The road where I lost myself is where I learned to breathe. The motel sign was glowing at 4 in the morning light. A stranger in the mirror looked like she'd survived the night. She had tired eyes and scars, but something had changed. A little bit of freedom running through her veins. She remembered all the mornings she woke up feeling small, all the time she apologized for things that weren't her fault. She remembered every promise that slowly turned to dust, how she called it unconditional when it was only losing trust. This is the road where I lost myself, but every broken mile brought me back to become brand new. Maybe I was never broken. Maybe I was just tired, trying to keep a dying love alive with all my fire. Maybe the empty spaces were never meant to hurt. Maybe they were places where I could finally return. This is the road where I lost myself, but now I see the sunrise waiting somewhere else. The highway is still lonely, the future is unknown, but for the first time in forever, I'm not driving home alone, because the girl in the mirror is finally someone I know. And the road where I lost myself is the road that brought me home. I used to think your hands were the only ones that mattered, that your voice was the answer to every broken chapter. I searched for your approval like a place I could belong. I thought if you stopped loving me, then I must have been wrong. I counted all my mistakes, I carried all the blame. I wore your disappointment like a tattoo of my name. I became so focused on keeping you close, I forgot the person I needed the most. I spent years waiting for someone to choose me. I forgot I could choose myself. I was worth saving before you ever loved me, before your arms held me, before you touched my dreams. I was a whole person before you came along. I had a heart, I had a voice, I had a song. You were a chapter, you were never my identity. You were a moment, not the meaning of me. The piano cries softly like rain against the glass. The pedal steel remembers all the shadows of the past. The acoustic guitar whispers through this empty room, a melody for the woman who is finally breaking through. The mirror doesn't scare me like it did before. I don't see a broken person standing by the door. I see someone tired, I see someone strong, someone who survived everything that went wrong. Healing is remembering What pain made you forget I was worth saving before you ever loved me, before your goodbye ever cut so deep. I was not a burden, I was not too much, I was just giving my heart to someone who couldn't hold it. Dear younger me, I'm sorry I ignored you. I'm sorry I believed someone else had to prove you. You were beautiful before the heartbreak came. You were enough before anyone knew your name. Waiting within. When the noise disappeared and your footsteps were gone, I sat with the silence until the night became dawn. At first it felt empty, at first it felt cold, like a house full of memories with nobody home. I reached for your shadow, I called out your name, but the only voice answering was mine through the pain. A voice I had forgotten, a voice I pushed away, a voice that was waiting for this quiet day. Sometimes the silence you fear is where you find yourself. I found the woman in the silence, the one I buried under your kindness. She was still breathing, she was still there, waiting beneath. All the weight she carried, I lost my direction, I lost my way, but I found my heartbeat at the end of the rain. The woman calling my name. The piano cries softly, like tears falling slow. The acoustic guitar whispers things only my heart knows. Your side of the bed is empty tonight, but somehow the emptiness feels like a light. I used to be afraid of being alone. Now I hear my own voice calling me home. place my hand gently over my heart. I thank every piece that survived being torn apart. The girl I abandoned, the dreams I denied, the soul that kept fighting deep down inside. I found a woman in the silence, stronger than yesterday, braver than before. I lost what we had, I lost what was planned, but I found myself again when I held my own hand. When everything was gone, I finally heard. I finally heard. I finally heard. I used to fear the silence because it sounded like goodbye. I used to fill the empty spaces with reasons why you left my side. I kept talking to your memory like it could answer me. I kept searching through the darkness for the person you used to be. I counted every heartbeat, I counted every tear, I counted all the moments I spent pretending you were here. I thought the quiet was punishment, I thought being alone was pain. But somewhere in the stillness, I started healing again. The silence I was running from was the silence that brought me back. Ooh, this is the silence that saved me, the place where I learned to breathe, the space between your goodbye and the woman I was meant to be. I stopped chasing your footsteps, I stopped calling your name, I stopped building my future around somebody else's pain. You were the storm in my chest, the darkness in my sky, but the silence after losing you was where I learned to fly. I remember all the nights when I waited for your call, and one word from your lips could make me forget it all. I made your happiness my mission, I made your pain my own. I forgot that even strong hearts can break when left alone. I carried your emotions like a river carries rain. I carried all your shadows while drowning in my own pain. I thought love meant forgiveness, no matter what you do, but love should never cost me the person I once knew. This is the silence that saved me, the room where I found my voice, the moment I stopped begging and finally made a choice. I don't hate what we were, I don't erase There's a girl in the mirror with tired and gentle eyes. She survived every moment she thought she couldn't survive. She carried broken pieces through every endless night, and now she holds her own hand, walking toward the light. This is the silence that saved me, the silence after the storm, the place where I remember I was more than what was gone. The house is still quiet, the road is still unknown, but I don't feel abandoned because I finally came home. You were a chapter, you were a painful truth, you were the ending that gave me something new. Silence meant losing you, but silence was the first place I finally heard myself.